You probably have heard of fidget spinners, all right? Everybody's heard of fidget spinners. They were absolutely freaking huge for a considerable amount of months, and on Amazon, they were crazy busy on Amazon too for what seemed like six months, okay? Now, if I just go past 5 years, let's go look on Google Trends and look at the way that this particular thing happened. So, October 2nd, 2016, nothing happening. And then about this point here, so March 2017, they went nuts until this point here, which was, what's that, like May 2017. So 2 or 3 months worth of craziness, and then it fell off a cliff. So that's the trend that happened online for fidget spinners. I know that at this point here, so the beginning of the curve, there were 2 factories in China making fidget spinners. That's all there was, 2 factories. And so you can imagine what happened when this happened. In a very, very short amount of time, 248 new factories sprang to life. So, if you find a product on Alibaba where only 10 people are selling it, that could mean that you're at the front of that particular curve as far as a trend goes. And the way to check that is come to Google Trends and type in whatever it is you're going to search for, whatever you're thinking of selling, and Google Trends will tell you what's happening with that. It could also mean that you're typing in the wrong thing and you haven't figured out how to type it in, which could mean that you can get an advantage because you're going to use a search term that nobody else is using, okay? So there's a few different ways of considering that. So don't let the fact that you've got a small number of people selling the product put you off. Consider that in the greater understanding that you've now got about where the product's at, where the trend is at, etc., etc., etc. And China's interesting because it kind of, the way that China is laid out. Well, let me just show you. Do you want me to? Would you be interested in seeing how China lays out its factories so that you can get a better understanding of how to search for the right factory when you're going to Alibaba? Who'd be interested in seeing that? I don't want to show you something that you're not interested in seeing. All right. Okay, cool. Lots of yeses. All right. So I'm just going to pause my screen, and that's because I'm just going to go find something for you. So the way that Alibaba lays out its search results is also the way that, all right, that's it. The way that China lays out the regions within China that do all of the production of any given products. And it's kind of weird. There was a great episode of The Simpsons where Homer went to work for this international criminal, and he'd set up this town, and in this town every street was dedicated to a given product. So he would have Hammock Street, and all the shops on Hammock Street would sell hammocks. He would have Bungee Jumping Street, where all the shops sold bungee jumping things. So let me just go through. This is my inner circle from January of this year, and let's just go through it and go and look, and I'll show you. I'll just take it from directly from here for you. There you go. Okay. Is that as big as I can make it? Yes. All right, so the way that China is laid out is it's laid out the same way. So different areas of China correspond to different products that are being manufactured in those areas. So that's a map of that, and I'll screenshot that for you and put it all in the group for you. So for here, for instance, you've got Guangdong mostly does all the electronics for China. Okay, textiles mostly come from Zhejiang, etc., etc. So, and it's all laid out in a very, very interesting and systematic way. And it's of course based on things like, do you need to be near a river? Do you need to be near a port? Etc., etc. All right. So now, how on earth do you use that to go search on Alibaba? Well, let me just go back up and go and find another product to go searching. Arts and crafts, shampoo, toys. I'm looking for something kind of specific. Specifically, let's go find an electronics company. So let's just find, let's just do fidget spinners, just because, you know, why not? So when you're coming looking on here for your product, so if you know, for instance, that fidget spinners all get made usually in Guangzhou in China, you can search via region, it says. So now you can see here, I've got all the different regions of China. I hope you can see that. I'm kind of over in this area here, look over on the left. If you know that Guangzhou is where most of the fidget spinners get made, then you can highlight Guangzhou and you'll get a good understanding that you're going to be dealing directly with a factory rather than a middleman. Okay, and that's a really important tip for you to know. It's how you can have a much higher probability of dealing with a factory. Quick slurp of my tea. Which usually means higher minimum order quantity, lower price. Higher MOQ, lower price. Okay, now we can use the same thing, the same strategy, and instead we say, well, now what I want to do is I don't want to find a factory, I want to find a middleman to buy from, because I'm not looking for a high MOQ, I want to find a low MOQ, and I'm happy to pay a little bit more per unit to have a lower overall money invested in that. So to do that, come to Hong Kong, find the fidget spinners in Hong Kong, because that's where most of the trading companies, aka middlemen, are in that region. They're in Hong Kong. Good tax savings in Hong Kong, so they go there. All right. So that's two ways. One way that you can find a middleman, and another way that you can find a factory to do that. So I hope that that gives you a little bit of insight into doing that. And what I will do as well is I will screenshot all of this. This is from my inner circle, from my advanced inner circle. This is the sort of stuff we do in the advanced inner circle. So this is from my advanced inner circle from January. I cannot give you everything that I covered because, you know, that's just not on for those folks what paid to be in the inner circle. But what I will give you, and I'm sure it's okay, is I will give you these 4 slides. I'll give you those. I'll just screenshot them for you and then post them in our Facebook group so you've got them, so you'll be able to see where to go. And now I've given you some extra information about how to search on Amazon utilizing that. So I hope that's useful for you. I love this sort of shit. Kind of figuring that sort of stuff out. You can just get such an advantage from people that don't know those insider tips. You can get such an advantage. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales I've used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business. And the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon. And indeed, Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.